Hello, my name is Gareth. In this lesson, we're going to practice some of the more advanced features in Word, including the use of tables, tabs, and the ruler, adding images, and editing headers and footers. Importantly, we're going to make sure that your documents are easy and interesting to read. We need some words to practice on, so you can use the practice text included with this lesson. Let's start by putting a title on this document. Once we have the title written, we'll use the title button in the Styles menu to automatically apply title formatting. Then we can center it and add an extra space just to make it look nice. Next, we'll add some headings. These are like little titles for parts of our document. I'll use the Enter key to create new lines I can put headings on, and then I'll click the Headings button to apply the style I want. You'll notice that just this small bit of formatting is already making the passage much easier to read. A fun detail about heading styles is that they are not just visual, but functional. If you put your cursor over a heading, you can collapse everything under that heading, hiding it. Heading 3 can be hidden inside of Heading 2, and Heading 2 can be hidden inside of Heading 1. But Heading 3 can't hide Heading 2 or 1, only the text under itself. This allows you to nest topics together and hide things that you don't need taking up room on the page. Another helpful tool is the ruler. This is found at the top of the text window, but if it doesn't appear, you may need to turn it on in the View ribbon. The white icons on the left of the ruler are the first line indent marker, the left indent marker, and the hanging indent marker, which are stacked on top of each other by default, with the right indent marker on the opposite end of the line. When you hit the Tab key, you add indents, but you can set the standard indents for your pages with these icons. Tab stops are another way to help us control indents and how text lines up. In the top left corner of the rulers, you can find the Tab Stop selector. Clicking this will let you choose different tab stops. When you use a tab stop, pressing Tab will move the cursor to that stop. Then as you type, text will appear based on the tab stop you chose. A left tab stop keeps the tab to the left of the text, while a right tab stop will keep the tab on the right. The Insert menu has lots of features, so let's start from the left and work our way to the right to touch on several. First, we have the Pages section. We can add a blank page to our document. We can also add a page break, which will put everything after the break on a new page. You can also enter a page break by holding Control and pressing Enter. This menu also includes cover pages, which will open a drop-down list with several templates to choose from. Page breaks can also be found in the Layout menu, where we can also find quick ways to change the settings on our paper, from margin sizes to columns. Next, we have the Table menu. We can highlight cells in this diagram to quickly insert a table that is up to 6 by 7, or we can click Insert Table to open a menu that will let us enter a table of any size. You can also insert an Excel spreadsheet. When you insert a table, it should automatically select the Table Design and Table Layout ribbons at the top, where you can adjust the table's style, setting, borders, and more. Looking back at the Insert menu, we can find the options to add pictures, as well as pre-made shapes, icons, and 3D models. Clicking the arrow on the Pictures menu lets us look at where we can get the image from. The first option will open a File Explorer window to find the picture on your current computer, while the Mobile Device option will let you load images from your phone after linking the device to your computer. Clicking icons or 3D models will open their own windows that you can use to search for what you want, including stock images and icons. When you insert a picture, it will appear wherever you left your cursor. We can make adjustments using the button in the top right or the right-click menu. In the Layout Options menu, we can decide how to wrap the text around the picture so it fits neatly with our presentation. Here, we've chosen a square word wrap, but we still have problems. Our picture is too big and stretches into multiple areas, and it's in the center when we want to have it to the edge of the page. We can adjust the size by clicking and dragging on the circles that scale the picture down, and click and drag the picture itself to move it to a new home. Further edits can be made by right-clicking the image. The Style, Fill, and Outline options are different ways to color the picture. If there are other images present, you can use Group, bring to front, and bring to back to decide how they stack on the page. The Format Graphic option lets you get into a number of details of your picture, including cropping it in case you don't want to use the whole thing, as shown here. Another feature of the Insert menu is headers and footers. Header and footer will allow you to edit the very tops and bottoms of your page, outside the usual margins. This is a great place to put the title of your documents or page numbers. Clicking the arrows will load up many defaults for how you can make your headers and footers look. As your documents get bigger, you may need to refer to things you said in other parts of the document, or want to include an easy way for someone to connect to content from elsewhere. That's where the Links, Bookmarks, and Cross-Reference section of the Insert menu comes in. Choosing to insert a link will take you to a menu like this, where you can choose either a document or enter a web address. You can type the words you want to appear in the link at the top. If you highlight words in your document before you click Insert Link, then those words will already appear there. You can also access this menu by using the right-click menu or pressing Ctrl and K on your keyboard. The Bookmark tool lets you create custom locations in the text that can be linked or returned to. In this case, we have clicked the picture on our document and are using the Bookmark tool to create a link to that picture. We give it a name, then click Add. Later, when I use the Insert menu, I now have the option to link the illustration I bookmarked. You can do this with words, pictures, headings, and videos. The Insert menu has many other features to explore. In this case, we've added a drop cap. This makes the first letter big and drops it across several lines, which can help make the page more interesting to look at. But you can also add text boxes, word art, equations, and symbols. Turning from the Insert menu to the Design menu, we see another way to enhance the look of your document with themes. If we hover over different themes, we can see the text in our whole document change to fit a certain look. The Design menu will also let us add watermarks, change the page color, or even add colored borders. The Review tab has several options for improving your document. You can check your spelling, or look for alternate words, have the text read aloud, or translate it to a different language. Meanwhile, you can use the Comment tool to leave notes for yourself, or people you have shared your work with can leave comments to give you feedback. That's enough words about Word for now, so get out there and practice what you've learned. It's time to make something for yourself, and don't forget to share it with your peers.